In America, we're hog riding, all right? We got a hog problem. Now, I would like to say a lot of it's due to processed goods. I would like to say that we're all just incredibly strong, and that's why we put on the extra weight, to essentially lift more iron, to be the strongest nation there ever was in the entire world. But it's probably due to a lot of processed stuff we have in our diets, and it's generally not healthy. But, you know, it's whatever. Anyways, let's see how Japan has escaped the obesity issue while America got fat.
15 years ago, I moved from Texas to Japan. I quickly had this weird feeling that something was off about the people here. I couldn't quite put my finger on it at first, but the more I looked around, eventually I realized what it was. Nobody's fat.
I'm gonna be honest though, a Big Mac on a weekend, dude, some fries, it's kind of hard to say no. You know, they have this app, you can get like 6 chicken nuggets for like nothing, man. Literally $0. How am I gonna say no? How am I not gonna eat that, dude? I like chicken nuggets. We all like our nuggies. I'm a gamer, dude.
Since 1960, the obesity rate in America has skyrocketed from 12% to over 40% today. That means America's obesity rate is almost 10 times Japan's obesity rate of just 4.5%.
Yeah, but who has the best athletes, okay? I think it's America.
Average American
I think
would be considered fat in Japan. You're like an even American medium level fat, you are completely fat here.
I didn't realize it because I was fitting in like Australian people. But then when I came back to Japan, I noticed that I was fat.
It's way easier to lose weight in Japan than in the States.
But why? What's Japan's big secret?
It's obviously like
There's a million things it could be. Maybe it's
cultural diets and all kinds of easy stuff like that.
Green
obviously.
tea.
Or maybe it's lower smoking rates in Japan.
Actually, no. Smoking rates are higher in Japan. 25% of Japanese men
Less processed foods as well. A lot of things are probably maybe cooked at home. Who knows? You know?
smoke, but only 13% of Americans do.
Maybe more people go
Wait,
to
how much?
25% of Japanese men smoke, but only
Whoa!
13% of Americans
That's
do.
crazy.
Maybe more people go to the gym here. Actually, no.
Only
Yeah.
3.3% of people have a gym membership here, while 21% of Americans...
This is what I was saying, dude. That's why America, that's why we're just on that bulk, dude. We're all fucking huge, dude. We're like literally the size of planets. We're meant to be lifting boulders, okay? And we became the boulder at some point, all right? But it's all in the pursuit of strength. We know the secret. We know what it takes to be the best,
Everyone
okay?
eats fermented soybeans for breakfast.
Actually, it's way simpler than that. The whole food environment is just different in certain key ways.
In Japan, you actually cannot make excuse to gain weight.
Right.
But maybe in the States, maybe it's not the case because you're surrounded, by lots of, food
Right.
truck.
When I came to
Yeah.
Japan all those years ago, I basically just ate whatever looked good, and I was losing weight. So let's say you wake up, you get ready for the day, and you're off to get a good breakfast. What are your options? Well, per person, there are 15 times as many fast food establishments in America compared to Japan. So
15.
the average American's breakfast options might look like
Hot cakes and sausage, our own egg McMuffin.
The breakfast burrito.
For breakfast at Denny's,
Ooh.
Super Slam.
Single-handed.
Yo, I want that slam!
I've ever put in my mouth. McGriddle.
Dude, sweet. What the
All of our favorite foods.
So there's plenty of McDonald's you can go to here in Japan, but Japan also has over 4,000 rice bowl establishments.
at places
Yeah,
like
that's what I
Yoshinoya.
was saying, like cultural stuff, like things that are more normalized, less processed shit.
For just $4, you can get what is actually a quite traditional Japanese breakfast. A small bowl of rice, fermented soybeans, roasted fish, and
Accessibility.
miso soup.
But let's say you don't have much time, and so you just want to grab something quick and go.
The answer? Convenience stores.
7-Eleven. Wow, this is so bustling.
Do I come to Japan just for the 7-Eleven?
More and more people are posting online about how in love they are with Japanese convenience stores, and for good reason. They actually have a huge selection of
That's
decent food.
huge.
So here's what you can get for
You know, because like a lot of lower income people will generally go to these fast marts to get like some quick eats or something from like the hot mart. So having stuff there is definitely a good idea, especially if you're just like on the go, because that stuff can really affect you, man.
about $9 USD.
Fish simmered in miso, ramen-style eggs, a rice ball, roasted chicken, a salad, and a green tea. And they have many other things like a decent selection of roasted fish, fruits, salads, and even low-calorie stuff like these noodles made of tofu.
Oh my
The
god.
pre-prepared foods are also quite decent.
That's like a supermarket shit, dude. That's crazy.
Fish with mushrooms and radish, chicken gizzards with green onion, shrimp and squid with broccoli, boiled eggs, and steamed chicken with pickled veggies. The
That
Benjis
all
are a
looks
little
good.
bit more junky, but they're much better than American options. So the first key difference is convenience. Convenience doesn't always mean junk. However, the average American convenience store doesn't have many options of reasonably healthy things to eat. You might be able to get some nuts or a protein bar, but other than that, it's just chips, candy, processed food, and some fried stuff sitting under a heat lamp.
So yeah, of course, super health conscious.
I'm gonna be honest, though, those dogs, the 7-Eleven dogs, those greasy, sometimes, man, hey, it just hits the spot, not like anything else. I even like the pizza, all right, you know, which would be blasphemous to a lot of people, but I actually think the pizza's decent, okay? I really do. I think it's overhated. The slushy there, I just eat the slush.
Japanese people don't get all their meals from a convenience store.
Only if I'm too busy and I have no time to cook.
The thing is that the overall...
It's just like they have so many different options that that they have just an abundance of different types of healthier options than we have. Everything's like just processed a million times over, you know, chips, cheese, fucking, you know, like the grossest shit.
Standard for food in Japan is much higher in general, so even the convenience stores have reasonably healthy choices. Japan has about 55,000 convenience stores, meaning Japan has almost 10 times as many convenience stores per square kilometer than America, which is great
crazy.
Because from what I've seen, Japanese people, or at least Tokyo people, are extremely busy. Japanese people in general sleep way less than Americans, which is actually very unhealthy, yet they're still much thinner. So yeah, there are healthy restaurants and supermarkets.
Yeah, you know, their work-life balance, I heard, is really bad in Japan. I'm not so sure. Like, I heard you work your ass off, dude, for some of these jobs. So that is probably, like, I don't know about their stress levels, maybe. I don't know. Are you... they're still obviously healthier in a lot of other aspects than some people would trade. But, man, if you're stressed all the time, you're barely not even getting sleep. You know, is it worth it? I'm not sure.
Because in the US.
We believe in real food. Whole Foods Market.
But when it comes to cheap, quick, and convenient food, it's often very
Dude, that got you know.
But when it comes to cheap,
this
quick,
man,
and convenient food,
this man makes a killer hot dog, dude. Dude, he's ashing right next to it. He gives you the soda with it, man. It's just fucking. You're good. You're good for a year. You know. You're going to be coming back for the rest of your life, 100%.
It's often very unhealthy.
$3 big meal deal, only at 7-Eleven.
In Japan, for lunch, I have the option to buy some fried junk or go to McDonald's for lunch, but it's often just as easy to, say, walk into Matsuya and get something like a bowl of rice with some stewed beef, a half-boiled egg, some kimchi, and a bowl
that
of
looks
miso
so much
soup
better,
with
though.
plenty of pickled
Let's be
ginger,
real.
of course.
It's way healthier, very clean eating. You probably feel good after eating it. You know, sometimes after I eat, like, some greasy dog, I just feel I feel bad about what decisions I've made in my life, you know?
Even if you're getting
the
some
guilt on
actual
top of
sweets
it,
here,
my
they're
body
just
not feeling the
as sweet
best.
as Americans.
Yeah, if you go to any one of these cake places around here, an American would be like, wow, why is it not sweet enough? Whereas a Japanese person would go to America and go, why is it so sweet?
When I first got to Japan, I thought most things weren't sweet enough. Now, after living in Japan for more than a decade, when I visit America, most things taste way too sweet.
Oh!
It's sweeter, a lot sweeter.
So we have a lot more sugar and shit in
Than
ours.
in Japan. For example, yogurt's very sweet. Too sweet, like it was like a dessert level.
According to 2021 statistics, the average Japanese person eats half the sugar of Americans. Americans eat 33.7.
That is probably it then, right? I mean, the convenience, the type of social diet that we're generally eating, which is obvious, you know, it's, pretty easy to point that out. What's culturally more accepted there, the access to these things, and then, yeah, the sugar content. Dude, that's huge.
Of sugar per year, but Japanese people only eat 17.7.
We got to get, somehow, we got to get on this level. Americans, we need to get there.
The thing with sugar is that the reason people eat too much sugar is that they want a lot of sugar because they eat too much sugar. This 2016 study found that after just 2 months of people doing a low sugar diet, cutting their simple sugar intake by 40%, they started to rate sweet foods as significantly sweeter, as much as 40% sweeter than before.
That's exactly what happened to me. At first, Japanese sweets didn't taste sweet enough, then I got used to it, and now they taste plenty sweet.
So I think the Japanese just eat less sweet less caloric things, and they eat less of it.
The soda cups are just smaller here in Japan.
This is a large cup at McDonald's in Japan. This is an American small. The American small is actually slightly larger than the Japanese large.
That's huge.
And of course, the American large is about twice as big as the
Oh,
Japanese.
so it's also the what do you call it? The portion sizes.
Japanese large.
Oh man, we're just getting
Even the
fucking
milk is way
murked.
smaller. This is the standard size of milk here.
Next, take a look at this. The selling point of this sweet drink is actually that it's small. It says nomikiri saizu, meaning a size you can finish. And these half-size drinks are in most of the vending machines.
Hey, why'd you get?
I'm gonna be honest though. I like the big shit. I like the big water. At least keep those. Maybe not. We just like it bigger here. I don't know. But is it good? Ultimately, we're at a 40%. You gotta make the sacrifice. I hate to say it. Maybe there's a scale you have to sit. You have to be on before you enter into the convenience stores. That's fucked up. Before you can get at the vending machine, you gotta weigh yourself. Damn. No, but like, how do you enforce this? I think it'll just have to be like over time. We're just having smaller portions for things, kind of level things out. This is obviously an issue. 40% is way too much.
It's a small one.
Insane.
I think this size is too much for me, so I can finish this.
But this one's only 10 yen more. You could have gotten like,
Yeah.
this one's like twice as big.
It's too much, and I don't want to
So they do have the options at least.
waste it.
You don't want like a giant.
But yeah, very culturally, like she's just like thinking like, no, this small is more than enough. Where somebody else would be thinking, yeah, would be like, well, I gotta make the big one. I gotta do it, dude. I can't survive off of it.
You don't want to get like as much drink for your money.
No.
No one in Japan drinks a big gulp. You can't even get it anywhere.
Now that's what I call a large.
I couldn't find any big gulps in Tokyo, but I could find these tiny cans of soda.
Everyone's got a dunk on Asmund. Guys, leave the raccoon roach rat king alone, okay? He's just living his best life. Look at. Oh man.
Who the drinks this?
What if you go to a restaurant in Japan? What percentage of the people would you say are drinking soda?
Oh, I think less than 10%.
Only water and tea?
So yeah, I think so.
That's better.
So Japanese people just don't drink that much soda. The average person here drinks 30 liters of soda a year, but the average American drinks 5 times that much, 154 liters per year.
So for example, with this vending machine, if you didn't want anything sweet, 5 different types of unsweetened tea, you can get water, and then there's black coffee.
By the way, these vending machines are everywhere. Japan has the most vending machines per person on the planet, around.
So they actually have more convenient options, but they're somehow portioned correctly, and they have more choices that seem a lot more well-rounded than what we have. So all that kind of makes sense. This is crazy, dude. Just a different cultural thing. We really should adopt some of these things, you know. It's fucked up because like I like the ability as an American, all right? I like the ability to get the big gulp. I like the ability to be the biggest, most disgusting fucking pig. This side of the river, okay? But it is we should think about our future. If it's going to cause, there's so much health related shit, going into this that it's like not even to drone on about it. Like I want to give the people the ability, but we do need more options. We do need more things. At McDonald's anymore, I couldn't even get a wrap. I can't even get a fucking wrap anymore, bro. So of course, with we're only being stationed out to eat these conditioned to eat these extremely unhealthy shit. It's gonna affect you. Now you could say, hey, put down the cheeseburger, okay? And maybe I won't. But that's maybe that's the problem somewhat, is that, consumers will buy what they want. But I feel like there's like some kind of conditioning, like giving more accessibility, making it so people can get these things a little bit easier should be more out there. The problem is there's also apple slices at McDonald's, right? How many people are buying the apple slices, But, again, Japan has all these, all these different types of rice options, seaweed, desserts, things like that. That sounds good. I mean, put, options for those. I think people would be a little bit more inclined. Cut down the sugar. that we're intaking, things like that. But again, I don't want to tell people what they can and can't do. You should have the ability, I believe. But we should try to introduce more things into the American diet to help us, because it's fucked up out there, man. You know, people are dying, having their body arms trapped off to diabetes, dude. It's not right.
4 million.
I'm looking out
for every 30 people. Next is key number 3, school lunch. The Japanese approach to feeding their school kids is completely different from America.
Do the teachers even eat this stuff?
No, we don't eat school lunch.
They don't touch it.
So I'm half American. I went to elementary school in both Japan and the United States. In the United States, the food was just junk food. We had tater tots, we had sloppy joes. It was like everything bad for you. You know, chocolate milk.
In middle school, we would get chocolate milk.
Chocolate milk for what?
just like, if you want chocolate milk, go ahead.
Serve for lunch at
Dude, if they try to take away my chocolate milk, though, I might riot. Someone's going down, dude. I'm gonna be causing a commotion.
school.
No, touch my fucking chocolate milk.
Inedible. Some high school students who are so sick of their school food, they've started a protest movement against it. In 1970, the law changed. Schools could now turn to private, for-profit companies to feed their students.
In American schools, it's common to have plenty of processed foods on the menu.
You cut back on everything. Salaries, supplies, the food.
But if we go over and take a look at Japan, school lunches are planned out by the school's designated nutritionist. And
that's huge, see? You're conditioned.
Every single day.
Huge.
If you're in Japan, every meal is meant to be healthy. Vegetables, there'd be rice, some fish, some meats, and a little bit of pickled vegetables. So that by the time, you know, that you're 16, 17, 18, you're not going to be fat. It's going to be very rare that you're going to see a child that's fat in Japan. I think that carries you your whole life. It sets your diet.
You got like a nutrition education that actually worked.
Yeah.
Once you get overweight, man, it is so hard for some people to lose it. Like, it's a complete uphill battle. You know, and it's just rough. You just have to really change around your diet and stop doing a lot of things that you're normal to. And some people can't get out of it. And it may be easy to say. And I've cut back weight before, like when I was bulking, okay? When I was at my most highest strength of stuff. And I kept being like, I'm going to lose the weight. And it was difficult at first. But then, it's change your diet around. It's relatively easy for me. But I'm not so sure about other people. I'm not sure if they have had a lot of experience with or have reasons why they're like that. And I don't want to say it's as easy as, stop eating, put down the cake, fat ass. I'm not going to say that because I don't know what to... I'm sure there's got to be some kind of rules I'm missing out here, that can cause people to just continue this cycle that they end up being. And they want to lose weight, but they'll just keep, like, eating, this unhealthy shit and, continually be not where they want to be. So, and it's fucked up and it's hard to do if you don't know what's going wrong. And, I want, the pointing to like some people having conditions for their body and stuff like that, I think is pretty small. The percentage of people actually suffering things like that. I would say it's like a mixture of the accessibility and if they're working a lot, whether or not how easy it is to get this type of food and culturally being accepted. Like there's so many other things that do play factors. I'm completely talking out of my ass, but I think, that can affect all those things. So I don't think it's fair completely to say that. And it's just, we obviously need a change though. It's, I see there's a lot of fat kids now. It's fucked up, man. And they'll go crazy if they're not eating their third chocolate milk and soda pop by the end of the week. It's fucked up.
The fourth key
is
portion sizes. The portion sizes are generally just a little smaller wherever you go.
Normal size, like meal size in Australia, is usually big. I couldn't finish eating them, but
yeah, like it shouldn't be taken away the ability to eat this shit, but yeah, it does need to be kind of toned down. Like we need to have it more normalized and have an introduction to these like different like accessibility. Like the fast food should have a mandate to have more healthy option to some degree. If they can maybe work in like a salad or something, just because, and it's fucked up. I don't want to hold companies to this. I don't know. It's like, because they're just working within their means. They're, it's a buy, it's up to the purchasers to do it. But like, you know, it's got to be maybe like a small. There has to be something done, otherwise people will just take advantage of whatever. Because like, if you could buy a large meal for $1, people are always going to do that to save the money and the cost and things like that, even if it's necessarily, you know, isn't as healthy. And if it's convenient too. So it's like there has to be something that we can do to normalize this and kind of introduce it into food, into schools at first, like start when they're young and at least give options to like general marts that have more healthier options. I don't know. But again, we're conditioned to eat this shit, and we're gonna eat. It's incredibly like the more you think about it, just kind of like how do you even change all that? And should you push companies to have to do these things? I would argue to some degree, yeah, they should maybe, yeah, we should put some pressure on chains to at least have a couple of healthy options. And I like the idea of a free nation, but I'm like, man, if we're getting up to 40%, what else do you do? I don't know. If somebody could brainstorm with me here, I don't know. It's fucked up.
And I got used to it, and I actually gained 12 kg there.
So that's like 25 pounds.
Double tacos, designed to keep your stomach and your wallet full.
That's what it's. Yeah, the convenience and you save, and it's just, you know, especially after working a long shift, you just want to just be able to get food. You don't have to cook 30 minutes and then but they seem to have conveniences and then still are able to keep their weight down. It's the portion size, and the sugars, and all this shit.
I think there's two big reasons why Japan doesn't take the American approach of giving you huge portions to make you feel like you got your money's worth. First off, don't do this in Japan. A big concept here is mottainai, or wasteful.
Elementary school, middle school, if you cannot finish the meal, you don't have like lunch break.
So you just have to sit there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, like I remember some of my friends couldn't finish eating and then like crying and eating. The idea came from like mottainai. You cannot waste the food because that's the life of plants and animals. Yeah, leaving food is considered
I like
bad.
that.
It's kind of bad manners to leave unfinished food and especially rice scattered about on your plate. Next,
See, that's why I always destroy my chicken wings, okay? It's not because I'm a bit of an animal. It's not because of that, okay? It's because I'm trying not to. I'm thinking about the animals that have sacrificed themselves to be on my plate.
Really, a thing here to get a container to take leftovers home.
I'm actually
You're
really
expected to finish
thoughtful.
your meal at the restaurant.
I think we all are,
So
right?
the average restaurant
That's why we
serves
clean our
people
plates here.
reasonably sized, not too big portions that most people should be able to finish in one sitting.
Most packages of snacks here are sized so that you can comfortably finish them without feeling stuffed.
Like, look how small all these little packages of chocolates are.
If you eat the normal American diet,
Yeah, portion control maybe. That's what I'm saying. Like, if we just cut the size portions of things and get that more normalized, maybe. Like, yeah, we do need nutritionists out there, actually. Before I was like, kind of like, well, I like people being able to decide what they want. But then it would kind of be a bit much. And now we're at a point where it's gotten out of hand. So, like, some kind of like normalization of this stuff and having control over, you know, some kind of dietitian or nutritionist getting a hold of our marketing and things that we normally eat would be, I think, is probably needed.
Like in Japan, if you just eat what everyone else eats, then you get thin.
Yeah.
Do you think that's pretty accurate?
Yeah, I think it's accurate.
If there are some people who are, you know, maybe starting to get a little bit overweight, and I suspect they're eating too much junk food.
So the fifth point is variety. It's easy to eat and drink healthy when you have plenty of options, and we are not getting bored eating the same handful of healthy meals over and over again. People can eat big portions of junk if they want, but it's usually just as easy to get a variety of reasonably priced, relatively healthy food.
Yeah.
What I like
That's what I was saying. Cost and the availability, all these things are going to have a
Even if
huge
you keep
factor.
drinking at the izakaya or pub, you see so many menu, the healthy food on menu. If you go to America, fried chicken, you know, fried potato, you know, like French fries.
Most of the places to go to drink have decent food options. You can expect to get some really solid food that's actually...
Yeah, I don't think you should even take it away, maybe. Yeah, I think I'm more landing on that. That you shouldn't take it away, but you should have more options and different ways to have to institute these things. I think that's where I landed before, but yeah, I kind of want to make sure I put that out there. Yeah, I think that would be the only solution, right?
Pub in izakaya. There are about 7,500...
You'll have to require for these companies to either portion size differently or have different options that have healthier options. Because just the apple slices at the McDonald's really isn't enough. You need like the wraps and, you know, shit like that. Even Taco Bell has some salads now. I think all these companies, especially the ones that have like a huge staple on fucking, you know, our culture, should have some kind of options.
Izakayas in Japan, more than the total number of fast food burger chains like McDonald's or Burger King. Now, I'm not necessarily saying you should replace fast food with alcohol, but even if you're walking in somewhere planning to get drunk, there's all kinds of simple, healthy, and delicious dishes. There's one other quick point I want to touch on, but first let me make it clear that there are better quality food options than convenience stores, rice bowl chains, or izakayas, of course. Most Japanese people wouldn't even think of these places as healthy, but this isn't about optimal health. It's about how you can be reasonably healthy with not that much effort.
Did you make this with vegetable oil?
Well, yes.
Thanks, but I gotta watch what I eat.
Lately, the word has been getting out about how bad vegetable oils or seed oils are for health. It's kind of impressive how clever marketing got us to think that we need to crush and heavily refine thousands of seeds with a long industrial process to get the oil that we need to cook with to be healthy.
With high pressure, forcing out the oil to a second extraction. 70-minute wash with a solvent. They wash the oil with sodium hydroxide. They bleach it, then use a steam injection heating process to remove the canola odor.
Sure, you can buy vegetable oil in Japan and people do cook with it, but it's very interesting to note that Japanese people consume about 1/2 of the seed oils of Americans.
Oh,
the ironic
God.
thing about seed oils is that they become more unhealthy when you cook with them, especially if you fry with them. That's because the fats are very fragile and easily break down when heated, which is not the case for saturated fats like, say, beef tallow, which are very resilient to heat. This brings us to the sponsor of this video, the seed oil-free masa chips.
Masa chips!
I started investigating how
Support the
in world we got
guy!
tricked into
Let's all
thinking that
buy
we should be
masa
eating
chips.
vegetable oils to be healthy.
Vegetable, corn, and sunflower oil.
Today, seed oils or vegetable oils make up 20% of the average American's daily calories. And recent studies suggest that seed oils are linked to metabolic issues and inflammation in the body.
Oh,
so
tell me
I've been
more.
avoiding chips for about 4 years now, ever since I learned about all the negative health effects of seed oils. You probably saw my 2 different videos on the topic. This is why I'm personally really excited about masa chips. They made a delicious tortilla chip out of just organic nixtamalized corn, sea salt, and 100% grass-fed beef tallow. 0 seed oils. Now, I don't know how they got the chips so crispy and crunchy, but these are the most solid chips I've ever eaten. I can pile pretty much an entire avocado on one chip. Personally, something about these chips feels totally different for me. I actually feel satisfied and I don't have the urge to binge them, and I don't feel sluggish or bloated after eating them. After all, think about it. Don't you feel better eating, say, corn on the cob with plenty of saturated fat-rich butter rather than some french fries or onion rings fried in seed oils? The best part is it's just
You feel better as in like tastes better?
just a really good chip. You don't have to sacrifice
I do
any
like corn on
taste
the
for
cob.
health. If you're ready to join the tens of thousands of people enjoying masa, go to masachips.com/Joseph WIL and enter code Joseph WIL for 25% off your first order.
That was cool.
That's masachips.com/JOSEPHWIL and code JOSEPHWIL for 25% off your first order.
Awesome video.
Carp
Awesome
chasing
video.
is one of the
I'll link
worst
him,
things that-
obviously. Yeah, I enjoyed the video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe if you found any of this funny or, you know, watch any of my other videos. I love your faces. I'll see you again. Bye.